Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again with another controversial production. Before I say anything, I want to say this. There's a song I have sung on this particular platform as a teacher, and I want to sing it again. This song particularly goes to the men, the fathers of children, whose children we are teaching in schools. I don't know why and for what reason most men have relegated the responsibility of parenting children as far as school issues are concerned to their wives and to women. I don't know why. It becomes more disturbing when somebody who calls himself a bishop with a mass following, a pastor, decides to speak like someone who is irredeemably stupid and does not have a brain. Take a look at this. This is Nganga, a man who is no stranger to controversies. But I tend to think that this time round, Nganga has crossed the red line. Nganga is among the very many pastors in this country who uses their pulpits to fight battles and to fight people, to spew venom, to abuse people, to manipulate people, to con people, and all the stuff. Shockingly, he has got very equally gullible and very blockheaded congregants who will listen to his nonsense, will clap at him, clap for him, will celebrate him, will still continue flocking his church. Don't be shocked if you see people like Nganga having mass followings. Don't be shocked if you see people like Akina Kanyari having mass followings in this country. This country is having a generation that is difficult to understand. They don't want the truth, but they would always follow people who keep on taking advantage of them. Most of the people who follow these guys are very hopeless characters in the society. You see? But I don't want to get into that. I want to go to the content of what Nganga has spoken here. And I want to bring out 9 things that every parent who is having a child in school must be able to pay attention to. Number 1, Nganga says in the very opening remarks of that particular clip that some teachers are mental. I want to remind Nganga this. If he was called to school the first time, he is called the second time. Mental teachers cannot do that. The fact that teachers were magnanimous enough to summon him to come to school to listen to the issues of the child, teachers cannot be mad. Teachers are never mad in this country. And I keep on reminding parents, if you take your child to a school and you think that teachers in that school, the administration in that school, all of them are mad, take your child and teach your child under your roof, where there is no madness. Number 2, Nganga says, shamelessly, before the crowd and before the camera, I don't know what my child did. Forget about the broken English. I hear he's called a doctor. Me, I don't even know which kind of a doctor, whether which doctor or whatever. Look at even the kind of English he's speaking. He says he does not know what the child did. And I want to ask a question. Between the teacher who is summoning you to come and listen to what your child did, and you who does not know what your child did and does not want to go, who is mad or who is mental? Nganga is forgetting, and I want to remind him that I have seen with my eyes children of pastors and men of God in this country are some of the worst behaved. We have learned with some of them in colleges, we've been with them in schools, we work with some of them, we live with some of them. Some children of some pastors and men of God in this country behave like all the demons that their fathers always remove from congregants, always come and reside in them. I am not shocked that Nganga's child does a mistake or offends the rules and regulations of a school. The father is called and comes. The same child goes ahead and offends again rules of the school. Now the father is being called the second time. Nganga, you need to smell the coffee. You ought to smell the coffee. I just want to remind Nganga one thing. Schools in this country are not appendages, or they are not extensions of your church or your shrine that you call, that shrine of yours you call a church. Number two, teachers in this country, whether they are ones who are teaching your children or not, are not part of your gullible and equally thick and stupid congregants. And therefore, don't walk into any institution, whether the one where your child is currently learning or any other that your child will attend, and think that teachers who are in that school are as gullible and stupid as those who are following you in your shrine. That one you need to know. You need also to know, Nganga, that just like your church has got rules and regulations that people follow, when you walk into any institution, you are not apostle, you are not pastor, you are not whatever you want to call yourself, you are a parent. So you either be a parent or you go to hell. Nobody wants to care whatever you are beyond the gates of any institution. Number three, Nganga says, and he confesses so, that he went to school the first time. He was again called the second time. That confirms to you that the teacher wants to know more. And do you know the reason why the teachers always insist that fathers be in these disciplinary proceedings? Because teachers know, and it is the truth, that these children, the work of the father in the growth, the mental, the psychological, the behavioral growth of a child is to instill discipline, to stamp authority, to show the way. Father figure is a sign of discipline, a sign of order, a sign of obedience to law. When a teacher is insisting that the father should be in the picture, that teacher is not mad. The teacher means well and wants the father to be put in the picture. Why do we insist on the fathers? Mothers, most of the times when they are called on proceedings of discipline, they want to attach emotions. They want to exalt emotions more than reason. They want to use the emotions based on how close they are to their children or how much they know their children, and suspend reason and reality and the truth on the ground. This mostly lacks in the fathers, because the fathers mostly will go with the logic. And therefore, I want to address you, dear sir, whichever father who is listening to me outside there, take your responsibilities, whether you are living with the mother or you are not living with the mother. The issues of discipline in school are supposed to be sorted out in the presence of the father. And listen, when this child is writing his or her name, which surname does the child use? The child uses the surname of the father. How will you feel if the child who is using your surname rots outside there and is the epitome of shame that brings to your name that you have worked so far to protect? You are a professor, but the child who is using your surname is a crook outside there. You are a lawyer, you are a medic, you are a respectable person in the society. But the surname, the child who is using your surname outside there is a crook, is a murderer, is a chaotic person, is a bother to the society, is a social misfit. How will you feel wherever you will be? So as a father, you must take your own responsibility to ensure that you stamp your authority whenever you are called, even if you are called to school, in school 10 times. Go to school, because that is the calling of a parent. Number 4. Does Nganga get bothered that the teacher insists that he should go to school and calls him a second time? Does he get bothered? Number 5. He tells the teacher, I will not come. Imagine this child coming home and telling the father that, Daddy, the teacher wants to see you to school tomorrow. And Nganga tells the son, or tells the teacher, indirectly by telling it or saying it before the son, go and tell him I will not come. Or he picks a call and he says, I will not come. What impact does that leave in the child? Number 6, the teacher says, the Nganga says and tells the teacher, mind your own business. I am paying you money to teach. Nganga, do you know the definition of teaching? Instilling discipline by the teacher is part and parcel of teaching. Ensuring that there is collaboration involving the parent, the child, and the teacher to enhance discipline and to bring out good performance is an aspect of teaching. So, if teachers will mind their businesses, they don't want to care about your child, They don't care about any child. They don't want to know whatever is happening to your child. Nganga, if teachers decide to mind their business as you are foolishly instructing them, do you know what will happen to the children in this country? Do you know what will happen to that child of yours? I can assure you, your legacy that you have worked for over time will be watered down if teachers will decide to mind their business. And if you feel like teachers should mind their business and should leave your child and not make your child their business, withdraw your child from the said school, teach your child in the Sunday school, teach your child in the pulpit, teach your child in your house, teach your child as you teach your congregants, and take your child out of the schools. Number 7, he tells the teacher, don't bring nonsense. And look at the face of the wife. The wife is there and proudly smiling. I don't know which kind of women are these ones. I used to think, and I've always been hearing people say that behind a successful man, success is attached to wisdom. So I want to change it, that behind a wise man or a man full of wisdom is a diligent woman who is serious with life and is also wise woman. Tell me, if this is how the husband is ranting before congregants, before the camera, if this is how the husband can be able to address the child and address the teacher, and she is there sheepishly, looking yellow in her seat and seated there, sheepishly looking at the husband and smiling proudly, is this still a woman? Can this steer a congregation? This still makes me look at the congregation that is in this church, and I pity these people. I pity this kind of souls. It becomes even a subject. One wonders, how does preaching in church on Sunday translate into verbal altercation between a parent and a teacher where a child is involved? How does that concern the congregants in this church? I asked myself this question as Nganga is speaking these things in the pulpit and the congregants are there clapping. Where is this child? Assume there are children in this congregation who go in school where Nganga's child learns. What happens to these children? What attitude do they develop about the said teacher or the teachers in that school? They have been called mad. They are nonsensical. They are not serious. So you use your pulpit to not only destroy your child, who you want to be a thug as you are, you use your pulpit to not only malign the name of an institution, but also be able to soil and destroy the mentality and the brains of other people's children so that they can go to that school and disrespect teachers the way your child does. Nganga is an apostle. He calls himself so. He's a bishop or whatever he calls himself. He has got branches of churches in this country. Nganga feels important. He says he cannot sit before a teacher. That is what some parents feel. I am a professor. I cannot sit before a teacher who is just a degree holder, P1 holder. I cannot sit before an ECD teacher. I am a lawyer. I'm an architect. I am a whatever you are. Sir, madam, I have said and I want to repeat, your profession. Nobody can walk into your office where you are a professor and begins to step on your toes and you will condone it. If you feel your profession is much more important than that of the teacher, withdraw your child from being taught by lesser human beings. Teach them on your own. You are a banker who has got money. You have got all it takes. You have powerful. You are a police officer. You are a politician. You are everything. Withdraw your child from the school. Teach your child on your own and leave teachers alone. Last but not least, Nganga goes ahead before the public, in the church, in the pulpit, before God. Using the same mouth, he blesses the congregants. Standing on the same pulpit where he prays and miracles happen to the congregants, and calls Mwalimu mjinga, ng'ombe. And I wonder, does Nganga look any better? Ng'ombe mwenye hata hawezi zungumza Kiingereza. So kati hawa walimu ambao wanaitwa ng'ombe na huyu ng'ombe mwenye anatumia microphone, nani ni ng'ombe zaidi kuliko ng'ombe mwingine? I want to say this. Nganga, mind your own business. If you think teachers can be an extension of your pulpit, go and take your child, withdraw your child from any school where they are, go and teach them the way you will teach Sunday school. Or you can be able to employ people from your congregants to go and teach your child the manner in which you want them to be taught. But if you have allowed your child to walk into any institution to be taught, you either shape up or you ship out. Last but not least, to the men again, I know you are busy. I know you have a lot of things you are doing. I know you are fending for the family. I know rarely do you sit where the family is. You are always on the road. You wake up early in the morning and you return home late in the night. Sir, that is not enough reason to relegate parenting to one person who is your wife. I know that when duty calls, you are always on the road and you are busy up and about. That does not relegate parenting. It doesn't stop you from being a father to your child. Last but not least, sir, let me tell you, by merely paying fee, the fact that you have paid fee, you are not paying teachers. After paying fee, it doesn't convert teachers into your maids. By paying fee, it doesn't convert the school into your kitchen or your bedroom where you can bully people the way you want. By paying fee, it doesn't mean you have finished parenting. And therefore, people should not call you. Nobody should bother you. You should not be asked questions. Your children should not be asked questions. They should not be disciplined. You are paying fee so that it can facilitate the upbringing of your child. If you feel that is too much for schools to ask, don't pay fee. Take your child to your own home and teach them there. I finish by saying that if pulpits are going to be used for this kind of businesses, if congregants are going to continue clapping and celebrating this kind of nonsensical utterances, if parents are going to entertain this kind of attitude, I can tell you, you can have a class of 50 parents with one parent like Nganga, you will bring down that class whether you like it or not. Be on the watch out. Nganga, I know your followers who I've said are equally blockheaded as you are going to meet me on TikTok. I know they are going to abuse me. I am here waiting. But I can tell you, after listening to this, your 2 minutes and 10-second video, I want to tell you on your face that you are extremely and irredeemably more stupid than the teachers that you are calling stupid. And you don't deserve to be called a pastor. You are not one. To your congregants and to your followers, you can be, but you are not one. Go to hell and you can do whatever you want.